Today on the Wrestling Roundtable, Backlash 2009 and 04, plus Extreme Rules and One Night Stand 2006. Welcome back to the Wrestling Roundtable. I'm your host, Eric Santamaria. I've been working in wrestling almost about 5 years, and I've been an editor for a lot of that time, in addition to doing other things. But sitting to my left, which is your right, is music composer and director Lawrence Haber. He's been a fan of about 23 years. And so has, to my right, which is your left, Brett Simonello and Chris Harris, vault manager and a fan of about 17 years. And before we move on to the topic of Backlash 2009, 2 days ago, taping on June 14th, Mitsuharu Misawa died. Unbelievably shocking, out of nowhere at a show in Japan. For those of you who don't know who Misawa was, I encourage you to look up this really important figure in Japanese wrestling. And I want to send, on behalf of the Wrestling Roundtable, our condolences to Noah and the family of Misawa. But we're going to be talking about Japanese wrestling sometime in the future, so hold tight for that topic. We also want to remind you to go to WrestlingRoundtable.com, where you can get this great Wrestling Roundtable t-shirt. And you can also sign up for the message board, where we're having our contest that you can find out more details on. You can also request us on MySpace, and you can also send in questions for our upcoming Q&A, the submission round number 3. Just be sure to include your first name and location for every question you send in. Now, last time we reviewed a WWE pay-per-view, it was WrestleMania 25. And once again, no matter how truthful I think we are. Now, the truth is something funny, because truth is not fact. What's true to me may not be true to you, and vice versa. As long as we are faithful to what we think and we're fair, that's what I want to get at when we cover these WWE pay-per-views, and always have been. But people still are saying you are way too negative. I find that pretty funny, because I thought we did say a few positive things.
Well, I didn't hate it. I thought it had some solid stuff there.
I like the spots at the beginning when they hit their finishers out of nowhere. That set up a good story for the rest of the match.
Money in the Bank was actually pretty good.
It had a great finish.
My favorite match was the Hardy match.
I liked that Matt got the win, too.
Ricky Steamboat
He was great.
was so fucking good.
And a very pleasant surprise.
One guy that proved that he's better than half the roster.
He is really so amazing, and tonight especially.
It was definitely Undertaker's best WrestleMania match.
Cena's entrance was awesome, as was Michael's. That match is another one that had a strong finish with that really impressive double FU attempt.
It was probably the best WrestleMania match since Michael's angle.
It's gonna go down as a classic match.
It was a great match.
I don't think anything's gonna really beat that for match of the year in WWE.
Michael's Undertaker match. Austin going into the Hall
crowd
of
was
Fame.
burned out
and Cena
from
winning
everything.
the title.
Santino was funny. It was a good match. The Undertaker-Michaels match was great. There were some good entrances, some good finishes. Well, there you go. Maybe it's not us who's concentrating on the negative. I thought we were pretty fair. But more often than not, because most of us generally don't particularly care for the product WWE's been putting out for a while, it seems like the show sucks or it doesn't get beyond okay. Trend broken, because Backlash 09 was the best show they've done this year, and is one of those cases where if they had just done this card the month before, WrestleMania would have probably turned out better than it did. What do you think about Backlash, Chris?
It wasn't my favorite show, but yeah, it was a big step above WrestleMania.
I actually disagree with you for once.
What?
It was kind of boring to me. I disliked more matches than I liked.
It opened with Jack Swagger and Christian for the ECW title, and I was going crazy. I was marking out for Jack Swagger, because I love the story of the match. The story basically fits into my view of Christian, that he sucks, and he can't out-wrestle this guy who's a real wrestler. Jack Swagger was dominating most of the match, and the story was that Christian needed to think of some tricky stuff to get past this guy, and even if he's going to beat Swagger for the ECW title, I thought it was a pretty decent way to book the match.
Absolutely. That sort of booking, even though he lost, will get both guys over in a way, because one guy's now the new champion, so he's over because he's a champion, and get the fans what they want, and the other guy is now put over as this worker that can only be defeated through strategy.
Speaking of giving the fans what they want, what we were saying before WrestleMania is that Jericho Steamboat should be one-on-one. Turns out we were pretty much right, because aside from Steamboat being in there with Jericho, it was like Night of the Living Dead Part 45. Steamboat, however, set the world on fire, and it seemed like they're trying to stretch this out for Backlash. Really, it was pretty much the same match as WrestleMania.
Yeah, I didn't see any really big difference.
Not that it's bad.
No, not that it's bad at all, but it's an embarrassment to the locker room that this man is out wrestling everybody.
Kane Punk was actually pretty decent.
I did like the Steamboat Jericho match. That was just a fun match to watch. Kane and Punk, I don't like them two together. I don't like what they're doing with Kane at all. He should be a killing machine, and then this little CM Punk comes out and beats all these monsters. It bothers the shit out of me.
I will agree with you about the Hardy versus Hardy match.
Oh,
That was pretty bad.
that was brutal to sit through.
How long did he take to do this Boy Scout finish of strapping Matt Hardy to the table?
Yeah.
Matt
that
Hardy
was-
might be the worst actor on the planet.
But Jeff, don't do it, because even when he did, it wasn't exactly a high impact move that put him out either.
He looked like he waddled in from the Renaissance Fair with that ridiculous outfit on.
They have no chemistry. I
They're
don't get it.
brothers. Yeah, they're brothers. And you look at some past brother feuds, I think they're a lot more comfortable against each other. But these two, it's a disaster when they get in there
This
together.
guy's said they're no Brett and Owen. They're not.
Some people said a disaster was the Beth Phoenix Santina segment. And a lot of people, I thought, very odd that they hate this Santina shit. I'm
Yeah.
seeing people go on and on about this joke is over, it's old. Maybe I just get off on a guy in drag. But I thought it was hilarious with the Khali stuff. Now, Khali, of course, is at the tail end of his WWE career, because you know if you're a big man, once they get past the monster phase,
And
they
they
turn
do-
you into the sexual
Comedian,
joke phase
yeah.
after
Wow.
Viscera, Mark Henry,
Yeah,
now
and then
Khali.
you get fired.
He's
Yeah.
probably going to go back to India and make Bollywood movies.
Santino is always pretty much funny, and they never pushed him, and they never gave him TV time. He was like never on pay-per-views. So then they finally find something with him that people don't like. He finally isn't funny, and that gets dragged out for 3 pay-per-views.
Once again, Triple H is losing his world title in a 6-man tag like he did at King of the Ring 2000. Now, a lot of people, unbelievably to me, are saying that Triple H put Orton over in this match. Really?
6 people in the match.
Yeah.
Forget the 6 people
He
segment.
took the back door out, is what he did.
Yeah, he was distracted, and it's not exactly, he hits the RKO without any distractions or weapons and cheating and pins him 1, 2, 3.
This is as good as it gets with Triple H putting people over. This is Triple H putting
Take it or
somebody
leave it.
over.
Well, perhaps, but it wasn't exactly a great match. What I thought was, on the other hand, Cena Edge last man standing match.
That was good.
I will give it to them. This feud has been done to death. They have dragged this out for years, but yeah, they had a really good match for
This-
Last Man Standing.
Storyline going into it was good. Edge and Cena need to close this once and for all.
All the
So-
truth that they came out. It's like, look, we've done this a million
Right,
times.
and what's good about that, Brett, is that they acknowledge what we're all saying, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So address the elephant in the room and then make it part of the storyline and then produce a great match and then lead into the next feud, which is the finish, which was a very strong finish.
The Hollywood special effects
We
finish.
get sick and tired of that crash pad landing,
that
fireworks.
same firework
Yeah.
effect when something blows up.
But when you
And he's
save
still
it,
not dead.
if WrestleMania ended like that, with that spot, it would have been a little more memorable. The spot would have been more memorable, the match would have been more memorable, and WrestleMania might have been a little more memorable as well.
That still doesn't explain how Superman wasn't electrocuted to death, but I will forgive
Because
that.
he's Superman.
We know they fought a million times, and I never particularly liked any of their previous matches. That being said, this was their best match yet. I loved the story of Last Man Standing, him hitting the F5 off the middle rope into the crowd so many different ways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Still
still
not
he
beating
got
up on the
through
line.
by cheating, and it did set up the next segment, which is what I'm doing right now, because we're going to move on to talk about Extreme Rules 2009 when we come back.
Next time on Ring of Honor, the Necro Butcher looks to chop the European.
And the Necro Butcher giving the Claudio a little of his own medicine.
Kenny battles Kenny.
There's that athleticism flying off the ropes.
And a strong main event featuring Kenta.
Look at the intensity. Yeah, these guys exchanging blow for blow. Oh, my goodness.
Ring of Honor Wrestling. Saturday night, 8 Eastern on HDNet.
Welcome back to the Wrestling Roundtable. We were just talking about Backlash 2009 and moving on in pay-per-view land. They had Judgment Day 2009 coming up next. We did not go to Hooters to watch it like we usually do, but I did look up illegally on the internet some of the mid-card matches. Jericho Mysterio, I thought, was absolutely excellent. Best match of the night. And even though it's a retread from a feud I sat through 12 years ago, they can still bring it, and they've got a lot more that they can do now with their added moves and whatnot. Morrison Benjamin was okay.
Nice to see them on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it takes Triple H, Michaels, and Undertaker being off for these guys to even get on. But you said that a lot of the main events
were just not memorable. I have a hard time recalling what happened and deciphering between Extreme Rules and Judgment Day as to which stuff happened where.
Well, this is what happens when you do pay-per-views 3 weeks apart, and we've got more coming up with The Bash.
They confused me.
Well, Extreme Rules was pretty much the exact same card as Judgment Day, minus 1 or 2 matches, but with stipulations.
I remember it.
The opener with the 4-way U.S. title match, it was fast-paced but kind of sloppy.
It was very sloppy. You noticed a lot of spots were getting messed up, and these are 4 guys that you can usually bring it. And when was the last time you saw William Regal on a pay-per-view? It seemed like kind of like, oh, it's your chance to prove yourself again, and all these guys really just kind of messed it up.
That match would have been a lot better, more in the middle of the card as to break up all the gimmicky matches, because that was just a straight wrestling match. It should have broken up the monotony a little bit.
It's a shame that the match that MVP and Kofi had where Kofi won the U.S. title wasn't on pay-per-view straight up, because it really was excellent. But following that was Jericho winning his 9th Intercontinental title, back to the mid-card treadmill against Mysterio. Once again, these 2 guys brought it, and they brought it big time.
They've always had great chemistry. Like you said, 12 years ago, they've had nothing but phenomenal matches. I can't remember them ever having a bad one.
And instead of the same 5 fucking people in whatever world title match it is and the main event of every pay-per-view, if these 2 were fighting for a world title, not only would people be into it, I would so be there.
We've said it all year. Mysterio is like the MVP so far of 2009.
The finish was really good.
Yeah.
It reminded us of that finish that Guerrero would do in '97 where Mysterio got the mask taken off when Guerrero jumped into the ring and took it off, and he's so distracted.
It's his Achilles heel.
Yeah, and he loses because of it.
Those 2 guys are great.
That bothers me a little bit, because as little WCW I watched
Everything we
back
do
in
is
the
little,
day,
isn't it?
as little as WCW as I watched back in the day, I remember him walking around in some fatigues and his mask off.
That never happened.
Well, don't tell me how his face has never been revealed to the public.
Seeing his face is a Google image search away.
Even I know.
Well, a YouTube search as well. But that's what's odd about it. When they bought WCW, when they started showing the footage back on Confidential about the last Nitro and everything, they wouldn't show his face. They show it from behind. So you figure it's mandated. We want to market the mask, so we can't show that. But now on 24/7, they're showing 99 shit. There he is. It doesn't make sense.
Different audience, remember.
Yeah.
The DVD audience and the universe are different.
So history changes depending on who's reading it?
Absolutely.
So if you're below 16, disregard everything we just said.
Hey, you know what, though? It kind of helps elevate the Intercontinental title just a little bit
No,
for
it doesn't.
this week.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Why?
Because no one cares. They like Jericho and Mysterio fighting. The title is secondary. But that reminds us of Backlash 04, and we'll get to that later. Punk and Umaga had a strap match, which actually translates to lay around on the floor for half the time period and bore us to shit match.
Oh, it was terrible. Really, strap matches most of the time are pretty awful. This didn't do anything to prove that theory wrong.
And 4 corners thing never works. It's like
Yeah.
1, 2, how many
Did
corners?
you see
which
the
corners?
graphic that didn't work in the top right
Yeah.
of the corner?
Yeah, everybody was complaining about
Like
that.
ADD kicked in. I kept looking at that. I didn't know what was going
It's a
on.
big universe. Hard to manage everything.
Well, this big universe covers both the old and new ECW, and Dreamer is now the first person to win the ECW title in both of them, for those who care. I am not one of them, of course. It was really sad in this stupid trash can lid hardcore match that Dreamer has to pretend that winning this title that is such a bitch in the promotion, that the champion gets in the Royal Rumble, doesn't get its own Elimination Chamber match, doesn't get counted as a world title, that he has to pretend that it means so much when it might as well be the Florida Championship Wrestling belt.
Congratulations, Tommy Dreamer. Your luggage is now 20 pounds heavier.
That's just his junk food he keeps in the luggage.
Oh, fuck all that. I'm happy for the guy.
We had the hog pen. I mean, embarrass everyone who watches the sport match with Santina and Vicky Guerrero. Now, some people were watching with us who hadn't seen wrestling in a long time.
And they're never going to watch it
They're
again.
not going to come back.
To
They didn't
explain,
watch wrestling then either.
How do you explain to somebody that hasn't watched wrestling since Attitude that this trash?
Well, the guy plays a
is going
stereotype.
on?
He dresses in drag because he wants to win a title that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
That's the wife of a dead wrestler. She plays a bad guy.
Attitude was tasteless. Just look at this shit.
Because that's like a combination of the stuff from Attitude that isn't funny, the stuff from pre-Attitude that nobody likes, remembers, and isn't funny, racial stereotypes, gender stereotypes, ripping on dead wrestlers indirectly, and killing 10 minutes on a pay-per-view where people just want to watch wrestling matches.
What was with Batista squashing Orton in the cage?
That came out of nowhere.
Is that part of the whole controversy where Batista's not hurt, and that's where they planted the seeds? That's why they hurried the match up? It didn't look like that
it's
happened.
It's part of cementing Randy Orton as the top star, as they've been doing.
Obviously.
Moving on, which as the match was going on, we were hoping it would fucking do, was Cena and Big Show. It's been years since I've almost fallen asleep during a match, but 20 minutes of this slow, plodding garbage. Of course, this is another retread. We know they've had good matches 5 years ago, but this was not one of them.
No, this was brutal to sit through. It was just really one of those moments where you're looking at the clocks. Is it 11 yet?
They made The Miz into something.
Who? I would know from watching this
He's
paper.
not on pay-per-views, right. And they use him as a device to set up this crap. Whereas they're not even realizing, much like Santino, that on the periphery, they've created a new star. But it leads to you falling asleep at the pay-per-view instead of the hot match.
I don't know about you, Brett, but I didn't consider the main event ladder match a hot match because I'm really sick of 10 years of seeing these lanky dirtbags do ladder spots.
That was a good match until that little shit bag came out at the end and ruined the whole thing.
Hardy
right.
was out there the moment the match started.
I will give them this. The finish was excellent.
I actually enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the ladder match. It wasn't one of the greatest ladder matches
It was a
ever.
stupid spot fest, but whatever.
It served its purpose.
After a shitty pay-per-view like that, it was a welcome relief to watch that.
Would you have rather seen them put on the Cena Big Show match?
Yeah. Good point, Brett. Thank you.
Yes.
I still hadn't woken up from it, so I did see the finish, and I thought it was really excellent because it's a finish that we hadn't seen before. It's a great visual of having the heel stuck, and he has to watch the belt slip from his fingers while this dirtbag takes his belt, and it was good holding it in his face. I really like that. But did you guys like the Money in the Bank thing with Punk?
Not really. The whole point of that story of cashing it in after somebody's been through a brutal match, Punk had been through a brutal match himself.
It was brutal for us.
Yeah, so what's the sense? If they had kept Punk off the pay-per-view or maybe put him in a quick squash match against somebody...
But if you're going to put the title on him anyway and basically bury Edge, and you're going to bring Punk out to beat him, nobody's over. Because you have a face coming out beating the more over face in a cheap way. And plus you got Edge out there who Edge's whole gimmick has been he cheats, he's the opportunist. So I guess Punk is kind of the new opportunist.
Well, on
but yet they
SmackDown,
haven't
Edge said that.
officially turned him yet. Yeah, so you're making light of this. So you put the belt on Hardy but taking it off him right away. You took the belt off Edge, you're putting it on Punk, who's not as over as either of them as a face or a heel. So what does it accomplish? It's like the Orton stuff. It just depletes the belts more and more and more.
The problem with this potential Punk heel turn is that they are so bent on being PG now that Mr. Anti-Drug...
They blew that one when they could have had Perfect with RVD and ECW. They blew that one.
They're not going to make a point of their
Nobody
one of
wants
their
to
top
root for
draws
the guy
being-
on meth.
Oh, Kofi
It was okay
Kingston
for
is
Angle to
Jamaican.
do it with Guerrero, though, and he died.
Well, so is this segment. We're going to talk about Backlash 2004 when we come back.